Hi guys. Welcome. How are you? The Architect of Silence. Episode 3. The Internal Split. The meeting in the eye of the storm. The internal audit quickly zeroed in on the consultancy fees. Offshore line items, just as Elias predicted. Marcus, desperate to control the narrative, called an emergency meeting with his most senior staff, including Chloe and Elias. The room's atmosphere was toxic. Marcus was sweating, his smooth exterior finally cracking under the pressure. Marcus. This is ridiculous. It's a witch hunt. Some disgruntled former employee is planting false leads. We need to shut this down immediately and find the source of the leak. Arthur Thorne, seated beside his son, maintained a chilling, stony silence, observing everyone. Chloe quietly, professionally. Marcus, the auditor's request is valid. The fees are listed as non-essential capital expenditure. We need a clear explanation, otherwise this could trigger a full IRS review, which would jeopardize the Olympus financing. Chloe's words weren't defiant, but practical, the voice of reason. Elias admired her performance. She was playing the loyal executive, gently steering the conversation toward full exposure. Elias. Chloe is right, Elias added, supporting her. As the new lead architect, any delay in financing due to an audit will push back the foundation timeline. We need a clean bill of health before we pour the pilings. The alliance was subtle, executed in glances and careful wording, forcing Marcus to defend himself against his most trusted advisors. The seed of doubt in the patriarch. Arthur Thorne finally broke his silence, his gaze fixed on Marcus. Arthur Thorne. Marcus, you assured me your books were clean after the last incident. Are these offshore fees legitimate expenses, or are they related to the restructuring we discussed 5 years ago? The phrase, "the last incident," was coded language for the original financial shenanigans that necessitated the cheap, compromised foundation on the Azure Spire. Arthur was making it clear he suspected his son was repeating old mistakes. Marcus's control snapped. Marcus. Of course they're legitimate. They're related to complex, high-level tax sheltering that I initiated after you failed to secure the necessary tax breaks 5 years ago. Don't look at me like I'm a thief, father. I'm protecting the money. Arthur Thorne. You are protecting your own mistakes, Marcus. I want a full breakdown of those accounts on my desk by the end of the day. If I find any irregularities, you will be publicly removed from this project. Elias watched the scene unfold with grim satisfaction. His small, $8,000 accounting landmine had detonated a civil war between father and son. The sisters' interrogation. Later that day, Elias was stopped in the hallway by Lena Vane. She hadn't been in the meeting, but she had certainly been briefed. Her composure was slipping, showing the cracks in the golden child's facade. Sarah. I know you're involved, Elias. Don't play dumb. This whole audit is designed to undermine Marcus's authority. And you were the only person in that room who looked happy about it. Elias. I'm the structural architect, Sarah. I'm happy when financial chaos might delay a foundation that's clearly being rushed. Unlike you, I care about the integrity of the building, not the balance sheet. Sarah. You're trying to destroy him, and I'm telling you, you will not win. The Thorne name is bigger than your ego. Elias. Your new name is built on my work, Sarah. And it will be built on Marcus's fraud if you let him rush this foundation. Which side are you on? The family that betrayed me, or the honest work that built your fortune? Sarah stared at him, her eyes flashing with hurt and anger. I'm on the side that has a future, Elias. You don't. She turned and stalked away. The final piece of the puzzle, Cliffhanger. The internal audit consumed the next 48 hours. Marcus was struggling to cover his tracks, issuing frantic directives. Elias, using a second encrypted drive he had built from Chloe's data, sent an anonymous file to Arthur Thorne's private terminal. The file was a complete legal analysis of the financial implications of Marcus's offshore tax strategy, showing it was not only legally questionable but also highly vulnerable to a full government audit, an audit that would kill the Olympus financing dead. Elias had been careful to make the document appear to come from Arthur's own in-house counsel, simply confirming the worst-case scenario. Minutes later, Elias received a text from Chloe. The sheer panic in her message was palpable. Chloe, text Arthur just stripped Marcus of all signing authority on the Olympus account. Marcus is locked out. He knows it was an inside job, but he thinks it was the general counsel. You bought yourself a month, Elias. But he's spiraling. He's starting to look for the structural reports. The message ended. Marcus was desperate. If he found the original Azure Spire Foundation reports, he would know Elias was playing with fire and would be exposed as the source of the audit. Elias had to get to those reports first. Elias stares at the text. He knows exactly where Marcus hid the fraudulent paper reports. In the deepest, most secure part of the old Thorne vault. The fire is spreading, but now Elias must risk a physical break-in. The physical risk. The Thorne Group headquarters housed an old secure records vault, a decommissioned bank vault located 3 levels below the ground floor. Elias knew it well. He had installed the digital security overlay 5 years ago. He knew how to get in, but the physical risk was immense. If caught, Marcus wouldn't just fire him. He would bury him. Elias arranged for a fake electrical survey of the basement levels late on a Saturday night. This gave him a 4-hour window where the main security cameras would be temporarily offline. He needed a distraction. He called Leo, his engineer. Elias, I need you to hack into the main building management system. Not to steal data, but to generate a series of controlled minor faults. Flickering lights, intermittent HVAC failure on the top floors. Enough to draw security personnel upward. Oh, anxious. You're going to the vault. That's insane, Elias. That's where the hard drives, the physical evidence, everything is locked. Elias. Exactly. Marcus is looking for the structural reports I filed on the Azure Spire Foundation. If he finds them, he connects me to the entire audit. I need to retrieve them and destroy them before he does. The vault and the phantom. Elias slipped into the building at 1 a.m. He moved through the dark hallways like a ghost, using his old security blueprints to navigate without tripping any motion sensors. The lower levels were cold and silent. He found the vault door, a massive steel barrier. He inserted a small, bespoke decryption device Leo had built. The lights on the device blinked green, and with a low hiss, the magnetic locks disengaged. Inside, the vault was a cavern of old documents, servers, and dusty storage boxes. Elias moved quickly, using the digital inventory system he had originally designed to find the specific storage box. Box 44C. Azure Spire Geotech/Initial Contracts. He found the box, pulled it onto a cart, and began searching. It took him 30 tense minutes to find the folder labeled Internal Survey, 17B Overrun. Inside were the original, unedited, damning reports showing the structural compromise, signed by the original site manager who had since retired. He smiled, a grim, tired expression. Proof secured. As he prepared to leave, a faint sound echoed from the far end of the vault, a gentle scrape. Elias froze, his heart slamming against his ribs. Someone else was in the vault. He quickly extinguished his flashlight and flattened himself behind a rack of servers, the folder clutched in his hand. The unexpected presence. The footsteps were light, cautious. A flashlight beam cut through the darkness, sweeping past the rows of files. The figure moved toward a different section of the vault, the section containing financial records. The figure stopped right beside Elias's hiding spot. Elias held his breath, the faint smell of jasmine perfume giving the intruder away. 'Twas Chloe. She was clearly here for the same reason he was, to gather damning evidence. Elias watched as she pulled out a box labeled Marcus Personal Holdings, 2020 to 2022. She quickly photographed several internal banking statements and slipped the drive back into the slot. As she turned to leave, she caught a flicker of movement, Elias's shadow, in the reflection of a steel cabinet. She gasped, her hand flying to her mouth, nearly dropping the flashlight. Who, whispering, terrified Elias. Elias, stepping out, his voice low. I told you not to contact me. I didn't say anything about a physical rendezvous, Chloe. Chloe. I heard Marcus talking to Arthur's security chief. They're changing the vault codes tomorrow. I needed the final records on his offshore accounts before it was locked down completely. What are you doing here? Elias. I was erasing my past. You were saving yours. Now we leave. Together. The near exposure, cliffhanger. They moved quickly toward the vault door. Just as Elias reached the keypad, his bespoke decryption device began blinking red. A security alert he hadn't planned for. Hale threw Elias's earpiece. Panicked, Elias, abort. Abort. Someone just logged into the central security feed. They've noticed the power fluctuations on the top floor and are sending a 2-man security team to the basement. You have 2 minutes. Elias slammed his hand down on the keypad, forcing the door to engage its heavy internal locks. Elias, to Chloe, urgent, we can't use the exit. They'll be waiting. We have to use the ventilation shaft. The main duct was narrow and located high above the vault floor. Elias pointed to the duct cover. Hey. It's too high. We can't reach it. Elias. We don't have a choice. Get on the cart. Elias quickly pushed the heavy file cart beneath the ventilation unit. Chloe clambered onto the cart. Elias followed, scrambling onto her shoulders just as the heavy rhythmic sound of descending footsteps echoed in the corridor outside the vault door. Hitch. Elias rips the duct cover open just as the first heavy knock sounds on the vault door. He hoists Chloe into the narrow shaft, scrambling in right behind her. He looks down through the small opening as the vault door rattles violently. They are trapped in the absolute darkness of the ventilation system, with security guards mere inches below them.